Hello everybody and welcome back to the second tutorial of checking out the basic commands in the Meterpreter shell. Let us type the help command and get back right into it. So what we covered in the previous video is the networking commands, the file system commands and the core commands. So we covered only some of them. If you want to actually see what other commands do as well, you feel free to actually try them out and run them. But I only showed you some of the most important ones, and we are going to continue right now with these system commands right here. So some of these commands right here are going to require administrator privileges in order to be ran, such as, for example, clear the event log. So this will require administrator privileges in order to actually cover your tracks and clear the event log. The execute command, I believe, might actually want the administrator privileges depending on a program that you want to actually run. So if you want to execute an executable that requires administrator privileges, it will be required to have an administrator privileges. Okay, so get one or more environment variable values, nothing really important to us right here. Get the session ID of the user that the server is running as, get the user ID that the server is running as, not really important for us. Kill, so terminate the process. Well, you might want to do something like that at some period of time. So for example, you can use the ps command to run different processes. But before we do that, let us open a process that we can recognize. So let's open Notepad, and right now let us type ps. And here we have this Notepad that we actually ran. It is under the process ID 12236, and how I know that is because if I go up here, you will see that the first column is the process ID, so PID. And right now, if we want to, for example, kill that process, so kill and then 12236, kill and then space 12236, which is once again the process ID for the Notepad, as we can see right here. Press here enter, and you can see we successfully killed the Notepad process on the target machine. So you can do something like that if you'd like, but I don't really see a point at the moment unless there is a program on the target machine that you want to stop. Then you can use the kill in order to execute and stop that program. Okay, so let's see in the system commands whether there is something else that we need to cover. Local time, well, you can do that if you want to. If you are wondering what is the local time for your target machine, we can see the local date time is 1:46:27, which is correct right here. But it is not really correct for my country because I set my PC to be in a whole nother country. Therefore, the time right here does not correspond to the time in my actual country. Okay, but if you want to, you can simply just run local time and check out the time on that specific machine. Now, system commands also have shutdown and reboot, but those are the commands that we are not going to run, because if we simply just type shutdown or reboot, it will close up this actual machine and I will not be able to continue recording this video. Therefore, I will not really run this command. If you want to, you can simply just try it out, but keep in mind that your main machine, or in my case this Windows 10 machine, will shut down, and therefore my Kali Linux machine will also shut down because it is a virtual machine on the target machine, and therefore everything will shut down in my case. But in your case, if you're attacking some different machine, feel free to try it out, then you can restart it and run different commands if you'd like. Or you can simply just run the shutdown command and the reboot command at the end and see what they do. Now, another important command would be the shell command, which drops into a system command shell, and a system command shell is simply just a command prompt, the same thing as a terminal is in Linux. So if you simply just type shell right here, you will see it will open up something command prompt like. It will give us the current working directory or the directory where the actual payload is, because we can see it is in the actual desktop directory, and the command prompt looks like this in case you haven't seen it. It is simply just this window right here that looks like terminal, where you can execute commands such as dir, which is listing directories in the actual Windows 10 environment. Okay, so you can simply just run dir right here as well, and you will get the same output, pwd, print working directory, and you will simply just get pwd is not recognized as an internal or external command. So we see right now that the pwd doesn't really exist in the Windows command prompt. So let me just type who I am, which is a command that will give us the output who is running this PC, and we can see this is the actual name. ls will not work because this is not Linux, so you need to run dir in order to list all of the directories. You can simply just type cd and then 2 dots in order to go one directory back, and type dir once again, and you will see that the directory is in the previous directory. Okay, if you want to simply just close the shell and go back to the actual Meterpreter shell, simply just type exit. And here we are back at the Meterpreter shell. Let's run the help once again. Let me see, have I missed something in the system commands? sysinfo, so gets information about the remote system such as OS. You can type that if you'd like, sysinfo, but by your nmap scans and everything and all of the information you have gathered, you should already know approximately all of the information about that specific system. Okay, so we can see right here the computer name, the OS, architecture, system language, domain, logged on users. So we can see there are 2 logged on users and the Meterpreter right here. Okay, so I believe that is all about the system commands. So you can simply just manipulate with different processes using the actual system commands, but we are not going to do that at the moment because I don't see any reason why we would do that right now. So let's go back to let's go next to the user interface commands such as get desktop. So get the current Meterpreter desktop, and enumerate desktop, list all accessible desktops and Windows stations. Idle time returns the number of seconds the remote user has been idle. Keyboard send, so send keystrokes, key scan dump, key scan start, key scan stop. So this is simply just running a keylogger on a target machine. And let's see how that works. So the first command that we actually want to run in order to start the keylogger is keyscan_start. So go down here, type keyscan_start. You will see starting the keystroke sniffer, and for example, let's say the target types here notepad or hello world or anything else, such as, for example, Facebook password. We will be able to see it once we run our keylogger. Okay, so let's see right here if we can actually see it. So in order to actually print out everything that the target has typed in their actual keyboard right after we ran this command, you can simply just type keyscan_dump, and it will dump out everything that the target has typed. So we can see right here notepad or hello world or anything else, such as, for example, Facebook password. We will be able to see it once we run our keylogger. So we can see we can sniff the keystrokes on the target keyboard, which can be useful in order to gather any type of information, such as, for example, they are sending messages to someone on Facebook, or they are typing passwords to their bank account, or anything else. We will be able to catch it using our keylogger. Okay, now let's see right here. Keyscan stop is simply just stopping the keylogger because it is still running. We are just dumping something that has been typed in up to this command, but in order to fully stop the keylogger, so you can simply just type keyscan dump once again. It will type whatever has been typed right after this. Okay, but in order to stop the keylogger, you can simply just type keyscan_stop, and it will stop the actual keylogger. Now there is also another command which I'm not really sure why it's useful, is keyboard_send, and we can see keyboard_send simply sends keystrokes. So let's say keyboard send hello, and we can see right here it will send, it basically just sends to my keyboard hello, just it actually sends it in our Kali Linux machine because I'm using the same keyboard and the same machine to hack as I'm using for the actual attacking. So that's possibly the reason, because we are using the actual virtual machine. But I imagine if you were to attack a different system PC, this actual command would input the hello world into the keyboard and paste it into the target system. For example, if the target was communicating with someone over Facebook, and then you send the keyboard_send with hello, it will send this hello message to the actual target if the chat is currently opened and if the target is typing. So the next thing that we can do is we can use the mouse. So the screenshot is an interesting option as it can grab a screenshot of the interactive desktop on target system. So we can see how it does that. So let me just lower this screen so you can see it will gather the entire screenshot of the actual target system. right here. Okay, it has saved it to the desktop, and if we want to check it out, we can simply just open it right here. And here is the screenshot of the target system that we managed to actually capture. You can run this as many times as you'd like, so you can type screenshot once again, it will run the screenshot again. So that is also something useful in order to steal some kind of information. And also another thing that you can do is these webcam commands right here, such as for example recording mic, recording audio from the default microphone for X seconds, webcam chat, webcam list, webcam snap, webcam stream. So it will start a video chat, list webcams, take a snapshot from the specified webcam, play a video stream from the specified webcam. Now, we can't really run this command right now because I don't really have a webcam, but if you do have a webcam, feel free to experiment with these commands. For now on, we can simply just run the record underscore mic starting, so it will record the mic right now, and it will save it for about 2 seconds to our desktop for a longer period of time by specifying record underscore mic and then 5 seconds. And now let's talk to the microphone. What you can do also on the target system, despite actually recording the microphone, is play an audio file on that specific target system. So if they have a song or any audio file, let me just see if I do have any audio file. Okay, so here is a video, an MP4, but it is not an audio file. Not really sure whether it will work with that one. If I had any song right here, that would be useful, but let's try with this video right here, which is the captive portal video that you probably already saw in this course because it was before this actual section. So if I just type pwd and we are in the desktop directory and play, and then I specify the name, which is captiveportal.mp4. What is important is this get system command, which attempts to actually elevate your privilege to that of a local system. Now you will notice if we just type get system on Windows 10 machine that is updated, it will not work. It will not get the system privileges, and we will still be a user access or user privileged account. Now, in order to actually get the system, we need to use some type of a bypassing of the UAC, and then we can actually manage to get the system account. But we're going to take a look at that in some future videos. This get system command should work on earlier or older, should I say, Windows operating systems, but on Windows 10, this get system will not work. On Windows 7, I believe it does work, so you can try that out on Windows 7, and it actually should give you administrator privileges, and therefore you can execute anything you want on the target system. But for now on, let me just see right here whether we have missed some type of the actual command. This hash dump as well requires administrator privileges because it will actually dump the hash value of the actual passwords on the target system. Now that would be about it. We have covered most of these commands, such as keyloggers, screenshots, recording microphone, keyboard send, so sending keystrokes. Get system is something that we are going to take a look at once again once we actually bypass the UAC, and I will show you that in some future video. We also covered the user interface commands, the system commands. As we can see, we covered killing a process, running a process list, shutting down, so you can right now try to reboot the actual target machine, because that is the last command that we can actually run, and therefore after it we will lose the actual connection, but you can try it out if you'd like. We also covered the networking commands, such as running the ARP tables, displaying the IP addresses that correspond to different MAC addresses. We also saw the IP config, the netstat. These three commands we didn't really touch because they require some networking knowledge, and they also do, and you can also create a problem if you actually don't know what you're doing and you create some type of a routing table rule or something like that which you didn't want, and then you need to call someone else to actually remove it. So that's why we will not really bother with this right here. Nothing really important there. File system commands, this is simply just navigating through the file as we did before. We covered some of these because most of them are similar to the Linux terminal, if not the same. Therefore, you should already know how you can do that using these commands. Okay, so right here we have the core commands, which are simply the commands in order to navigate with our session. Okay, so that would be about it for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed this basic actual Meterpreter commands, and what we're going to do in the next few videos is we're going to cover some of the post-exploitation modules that allow us to do something else, such as, for example, gathering Chrome passwords, gathering wireless passwords on the target system, gathering Firefox passwords, and so on, which this Meterpreter basic help menu doesn't allow us to do. So we need to use some post-exploitation modules in order to be able to execute everything we want and gather as much information as we need about our target. So hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope I will see you in the next one. Bye!